April the 17th, 2020, a law office in Singapore. A man in his late 70s picks up a pen. He is one of the richest men in the country, and you have almost certainly never seen his face. No interviews, almost no photographs. 5 decades of silence. The paper in front of him is an affidavit, a sworn statement headed for the High Court. It contains a number his own bankers have never seen. $800 million of losses hidden for years on his instruction. His company is Hin Leong. It is 2 years older than independent Singapore itself, and it moves the fuel that moves the world's largest bunkering port. By tonight, it will owe 23 banks $3.85 billion against assets worth 18 cents on the dollar. Nobody raided him. Nobody leaked. No whistleblower walked into a newsroom. The empire ends because the emperor writes it down. He signs. If any part of your life runs on trusted paper, a bank statement, an invoice, a balance in an app, you should know how this was even possible. It turns on something smaller. An email sent at exactly 4:41 in the afternoon. Before this video ends, you will read that email's subject line word for word. To understand why a confession could kill a 57-year-old empire, you need to know what the empire was made of. It was not made of oil. It was made of his word. 1963, a young immigrant from Putian in China's Fujian province starts a business in Singapore with one delivery truck. He drives diesel to fishing boats. Small loads, small margins, cash on the nail. He names the company Hin Leong. Prosperity. His name is Lim Oon Kuin. The market will come to know him by his initials. Okay, Lim. The business grows the way that generation of Singapore businesses grew. In Hokkien, over handshakes, on relationships that outlast the paperwork. His word is the collateral, and the family learns to trade hard. In 1994, his son Evan surfaces in a rare interview, describing a squeeze that went against them. We got burned badly because the seller was in the market pushing prices up. Burned badly, a run and keep trading anyway. Hold that reflex. It has 26 years left to run. By the 90s, Hin Leong dominates the region's diesel and fuel oil trade, and the Harbour has a saying, if you want to start a ship fuel business in Singapore, you need an okay from OK Lim. The man himself stays invisible. He gives nothing to the press. His indulgence is lunch at Putian, the restaurant chain named for his hometown, where the billionaire orders the stewed yellow croaker at $14.90. A poker player, associates say. Low-key, humble, endlessly patient. So patient that he spends decades converting the empire from promises into steel. And here's the strange thing about steel. The more real an empire looks from the outside, the fewer people ask what is actually inside it. Walk the empire at its peak around 2019. On Jurong Island stands Universal Terminal. 78 tanks, 2.33 million cubic meters of storage. The largest independent petroleum terminal in the country, with jetties that berth fully laden supertankers. At sea, the family group runs more than 100 ships, from harbor barges up to supertankers. This is not paper wealth. You can stand on it. And the establishment agrees. Petro China, the state oil giant of the country he left as a boy, pays $160 million for a 35% stake in that terminal. Now, to be fair to him, none of this was a mirage. Industry veterans credit Hin Leong as instrumental in building Singapore into the world's largest bunkering hub. The tanks were real, the ships were real, and the oil in this story was real, right up until it wasn't. Forbes puts a number on the silence. $1.65 billion, 18th richest man in Singapore, turning over around $20 billion a year as the port's third largest bunker supplier. He announces plans for Singapore's 4th refinery. He explores taking the company public, then drops it. Sit with that decision. No listing means no outside shareholders, no analysts, no disclosures. a $20 billion trading house, and the only eyes on the books belong to the family. The audited accounts for 2019 say the machine is purring $78.2 million of profit and $1.277 billion of oil in inventory. Remember both numbers. They have about 6 months to live. Because in January 2020, a virus shuts down a city called Wuhan, and an old man who has read the oil market correctly for half a century decides that China will contain it. The virus does not stay in Wuhan. Planes park, borders close, the world stops burning fuel. Then on March the 9th, Saudi Arabia and Russia declare a price war on each other, flooding a market that is already drowning. Brent crude falls from $70 in January to $21.65 by late March. Hin Leong is long, and Hin Leong keeps buying because the man at the top has seen crashes before, and his reflex is the 1994 reflex. Get burned, keep trading. One veteran trader put it simply, Hin Leong is a company that likes risk, but this time the risk became too big. The losses arrive at a scale nobody outside the family can see, and that is the point. Nobody outside can see anything. Now, mark a small gray moment. February the 26th, 4:41 in the afternoon. A contracts executive, the court papers, call Freddie hit send on an email his boss told him to create. It looks like nothing. Remember the timestamp. In March, that nothing becomes money. Twice Hin Leong walks into HSBC with invoices for oil sold to two giants of the Asian market and asks the bank to advance the cash early. Standard trade finance. The bank pays out $111.7 million against the two invoices. Early April, the demand letters start arriving one after the other. JP Morgan, HSBC. The credit lines that ran on his word for decades freeze in a fortnight. April the 14th, a video call with the lenders. On screen, the company states its position, $714 million of assets, $4.05 billion of liabilities. The bankers are staring at a $3.34 billion hole. Here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. The hole was not 6 weeks old. It was years old. The virus didn't dig it. The virus pulled the sheet off it. 3 days after that call, the old man picks up a pen. You have already watched him sign it. Now read it. The affidavit says the company suffered about $800 million in futures losses over the years, but these were not reflected in the financial statements. $800 million. Roughly 10 years of the profit those same statements had been showing. And then the sentence that ends the empire. I had given instructions to the finance department to prepare the accounts without showing the losses and told them that I would be responsible if anything went wrong. I had given instructions. The most secretive businessman in Asia, confessing in writing voluntarily. Why? Because it was the only move left on the board. To freeze the debts and beg the court for time, the filing had to tell the truth. Honesty was the last trade. The confession was supposed to buy the company a future. He resigns the same day. And one more detail, almost too neat. One of those HSBC invoices falls due the same day. His own affidavit against his own audited accounts. HLT has not been making profits in the last few years. $78 million of audited profit, unwritten by 14 words. Both documents carry the company's name, but the signature sits on only one. Then the outside eyes arrive at last. PwC, appointed by the court, and the vault swings open on 57 years of privacy. What they find in ascending order of nerve: cargo pledged to banks that Hin Leong did not own. Cargo quantities exaggerated. Cargo sold off while it was standing as someone else's collateral. And worst of all, cargo that never existed. 58 letters of credit across 15 banks with no oil behind them at all. Of the $1.277 billion of inventory on the books, the oil actually there came to $141 million, 89% of it, paper. One cargo tells the whole scheme. March 2020, a single ship, 780,000 barrels of diesel, bound for Rotterdam. Hin Leong finances it once with one bank group, then again with a second, then a third. 3 sets of bills of lading, same ship, same cargo, differing only in date. The report's language is clinical and devastating. Documents fabricated on a massive scale. A practice routine and pervasive. A machine where new financing sustains the illusion of health, and the illusion of health attracts new financing. A perpetual motion machine running on belief. To be clear about what this was, not a looted vault, no yacht, no island. Real trading losses, hidden, and dividends the liquidators would later chase. But the money mostly went where trading losses go, to the market, quietly over years. Everything so far has only cost him the company. What comes next? Singapore does not restructure. 23 banks want their money back, all $3.85 billion of it. But the state wants the one asset the banks cannot seize, sell, or write down: a defendant. The empire and the man come apart in parallel. The fleet goes first. A third of the tankers sold for more than $420 million. Rival traders take over the storage leases. The terminal stake passes to the national port operator. And the charges stack: 68 counts of cheating, 47 of abetting forgery, 130 charges in all. The state proceeds to trial on just 3, the 2 HSBC invoices and the email behind one of them. August 2023. The man who ran a $20 billion book follows his own trial through a Chinese interpreter in a wheelchair, eyes closed. 60 days of hearings later, in May 2024, guilty on all 3. At sentencing, the prosecution calls it one of the most serious cases of trade financing fraud that has ever been prosecuted in Singapore, and argues no weight should be given to Lim's age or his plethora of medical conditions, given the severity of his offenses. His defense, led by Davinder Singh, and if you watched our High Flux episode, yes, the same lawyer, asks for 7 years and reads the medical chart into the record: heart disease, hearing loss, cognitive decline. The judge gives him 17.5 years, 1 year off for his age, nothing off for his health. And the judgment closes on 5 words that will come back to haunt this story. The sentence, the judge writes, is not crushing. He is 82. Do the arithmetic yourself. The money side ends almost as absolutely. He and his 2 children consent to judgment for $3.5 billion US, the entire unsecured debt of the company, without admitting liability. By the end of December 2024, all 3 are bankrupt, and the family's $100 million bungalow is on the market. The man who ordered the 1490 fish loses everything but the appeal. March the 4th, 2026, the High Court. Justice Hu Xiaopeng upholds every conviction and then turns to the sentence and to the word. 17.5 years for a man of 84, she finds, was crushing even with remission. Is not crushing, was crushing. Same sentence, same law, 2 judges, 16 months apart, and 4 years of a man's life sitting in the space between 2 readings of 1 word. 4 years come off, 13.5 years remain. The court orders him to begin serving his sentence on the 1st of April, 2026. On March the 28th, he is hospitalized. His son tells the press he was disoriented and having difficulty breathing. Custody begins at the hospital bed. He is 84 years old. And then on July the 17th, 2026, days before this video was made, the last act lands with no sound at all. The prosecution withdraws the remaining 127 charges. A stern warning is administered instead. Discharge amounting to acquittal. After 6 years, the file simply closes. In fairness, hold both halves of the ledger in view. Convicted on 3 charges, cleared of nothing and everything on the other 127. Accusations withdrawn, never proven. And the civil billions settled without any admission of liability. That is the whole legal truth, and this channel will not round it in either direction. Which leaves the promise. The email. February the 26th, 2020, 4:41 p.m. The one Freddie sent on the boss's instruction, dressed up as a deal with China Aviation Oil. The forged record under a $56 million advance. Its subject line, verbatim from the charge sheet, CAO, sale of gas oil 10 ppm sulfur. That is what $3.85 billion of trust looks like at the atomic level. Not a vault, not a conspiracy of hundreds, a subject line. So in where he started, one truck, one man, one word good enough to build an empire on. For 57 years, banks paid billions for that word. And the day he finally put it in writing, it was worth exactly what it said, and it buried him. Your money right now is resting on documents nobody has verified. Statements believed, invoices assumed, PDFs waved through. It usually works. 23 of the world's most sophisticated banks trusted the paper of one quiet man for decades. Before you trust yours, ask the one question they never asked: is the oil real?